Okay, this is scientific skills using dimensional analysis or converting units with dimensional analysis. Very important skill to have, especially when you get into units that you're not familiar with. So the steps are always the same. It's just basically using conversions to cancel out the units that you don't want into ones you want. Alright, so a few math skills in terms. So in multiply fractions, you have your numerators, the top numbers, and the denominators, the bottom. So when you're solving for fractions, which is basically dimensional analysis of numerators and denominators, you want to multiply all the numbers on top and then divide by all the numbers on the bottom. And then you can multiply the numerator by denominator to find your final answer. So 3 times 4 times 7 is 84, 5 times 9 times 8 is 360, and then you divide, you get 0.23 as your answer. Same thing with units. You've noticed that liters is on top and liters on the bottom. The liters will cancel out, and you multiply the numbers on top and you get just milliliters, 35,600. So dimensional analysis is a process, a systematic process, to converting one unit to another unit through using conversion factors. And a conversion factor is any fraction or ratio, really, that has different units in its numerator and denominator. And it could have 1 in its numerator or denominator. It has a total value of 1. So example of conversion factors: 12 inches is a foot, 144 firecrackers is 1 gross, a year is 36.25, remember there's leap years, kilometers to meters, 1,000 meters in kilometer, a ream of paper is 500 sheets, 1 liter is 1,000 milliliters, a pair is 2 shoes, a pair of socks too, a century is 100 years, a dozen is 12 eggs, or whatever you have for a dozen. Could be cookies. So basically you have conversion factors show a relationship between two different units. 1,000 meters is 1 kilometer. You write it as a fraction. It doesn't matter which one's your numerator and denominator, it just matters on the units and making sure they cancel out. So suppose you have 4,567 meters and you want to convert that to kilometers. How do you do it? Do you multiply, do you divide? So you follow the 5 steps. You can convert anything easily, in this case meters to kilometers. So you have your given, that's step 1. You could put a 1 on the bottom and make it a fraction, that's up to you, that is optional. Then you want to make sure you have the unit that you're given diagonal from your given. So meters is on top and meters on the bottom. That's the only way you can cancel units out. And to cancel units out is the main reason why dimensional analysis works. So meters will cancel out. And when you do this, the units will cancel and you're left with the unit on top, which in this case is kilometers. Multiply the numerators and denominators together. So you have 4,567 on top, divided by 1,000, and you get 4.567 kilometers. Now, sig figs, whatever you start with is what you're left with. So you start with 4 sig figs, you're going to finish with 4 sig figs. In this case, it's pretty simple. You're just dividing by 1,000. Okay, these are going to be 5 problems that you are going to turn in class once you finish the notes. You're going to show all your work, making sure you cancel the units out. So the first one is 300 kilometers to meters. The second one is 400 kilometers to a meter. The third one is 800 centimeters to inches, and I gave you 1 inch is 2.545 centimeters. You can also use a conversion sheet. And 15 kilograms to a pound. 1 kilogram is 2.2 pounds. And the last one is 30 feet to miles, and given that 5,280 feet is 1 mile. So make sure you show all your work, show the steps of you're writing your given, your t-chart, the units canceling out, and the final answer. Alright, using multiple conversion factors, basically you're just doing the steps over and over again until you get to the unit you want. So you can't go directly sometimes. Sometimes you have to go from 1 unit or to 2 units in this case. So always want to work with units that are similar. So you want to make sure you get to a base unit that you're familiar with. And then convert the unit you wish to end up with. So how many kilometers are in 1.567 centimeters? So step 1, write your given with the unit. Again, you don't have to write the 1, but if you do, you can. Write your t-chart. In this case, we have centimeters on the bottom, diagonal from your given, and we know that 100 centimeters is a meter. So you write your conversion factor with centimeters on the bottom and meters on the numerator. And we want to get to kilometers, and we know there's 1,000 kilometers. I'm sorry, 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. And meters are going to be diagonal from each other, so meters is on the bottom because they will cancel out, and kilometers on top. Multiply across, divide by the bottom, so 1.567 kilometers divided by 1,000, and you get a really small number. 0.0001567 kilometers, or 1.567 times 10 to the negative 5 kilometers in scientific notation. So scientific notation is easier here because you don't have to write all those zeros with 0.0001567. Alright, that is it. Pretty simple. So you're going to have 1 notes to complete, and then those 5 problems in the middle of the lecture to turn in showing all your work.